is Jamie, the Urban Wine Buff, and welcome to Alphabetically Wine. Today's letter is the letter S, and S is for screw caps versus corks. Okay, so there's a widely popular misconception that wines that have screw caps are somehow inferior or less than wines that have traditional corks. That is a lie, y'all. Go ahead and squash that myth because it's simply not true. In all actuality, there are pros and cons to both ways. There are the pros and cons for your screw caps, and there are pros and cons for your corks. So I'm going to go ahead and break that down for you right quick. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first let's start with the traditional cork. So the cork is just part of the wine experience. It's been used for centuries to seal wine bottles. So that's what most people think of when they think of opening that bottle of wine. You think about popping a cork. That's just part of the illusion. That's just part of what endears people to a bottle of wine. So that is your first pro. Your second pro is that it does create a nice seal in the bottle of wine. So it seals it in there really nice and tightly. The third pro is actually connected to that second pro. The corks, or the wood that is used to make the corks, are porous. So they have little tiny holes in them that allow oxygen, tiny amounts of oxygen, to get into the bottle, and they allow gas to get out of the bottle. So those types of seals are great for wines that are age worthy. So if you have a wine that is high in tannin and just needs to age more, having it sealed with the cork is perfect for that, because over time it'll get just those minute amounts of oxygen in there to help it evolve and to help it age and to help it just blossom in the bottle. Okay, so let's get to the cork cons. All right, so number one, cork can be manually laborious to make and to produce. Also, it can be a little more expensive to produce and to create. So that's one con. The other con of having a cork closure is that cork is subject to something that is called TCA. TCA is this word right here. I can't pronounce it, but TCA is a chemical compound that affects some corks. So if you have a wine bottle and that bottle has a cork in it that's affected by TCA, that wine is ruined. So you're gonna have a wine that smells like mildew, like mold. It's gonna smell like you left some cardboard boxes out in the rain, and you're not gonna wanna drink it. I mean, it's not gonna hurt you to drink it, but it's not gonna be pleasant because it's gonna be foul, it's gonna be funky, so you're not gonna wanna drink it. So that is a con of having cork, because you are liable to having a bottle of wine that has been affected by TCA, thus giving you that corked wine. That's what corked means. Corked means that the wine has been affected by TCA. So that is your pros and cons of having a cork closure. Okay, so moving on to the screw caps. Okay, the pros of a screw cap is that it keeps your wine fresh. So it doesn't allow any oxygen in or any gas out. So if you have a wine that is meant to be drank young, like a Gamay or some Pinot Noirs or a Sauvignon Blanc or something like that, that is supposed to be fresh and crisp, it is better to have a screw cap because it's not going to allow anything in or out. Okay, so the second pro of the screw cap is that it is more cost effective to make and create. And number three is better on the environment because you don't have to cut down trees to make it. So those are the pros of having a screw cap wine. It has nothing to do with the quality of the wine in the bottle. Okay, so for the cons of the screw cap, there aren't really many cons to having a screw cap wine, actually. The only thing that I can think of is if you are one of those people that just liked the magic of actually popping open a bottle of wine in the traditional way with a corkscrew, and you just like the sound that that the cork makes when it's coming out, you miss out on that when you have the screw cap. But other than that, there's really no con to having a screw cap. So like I said, it doesn't make a difference with the quality of the wine. It just doesn't matter. So that myth that screw cap wines are inferior, squash that, because it's just not true. Okay, so let me know what you think about screw caps versus corks. Did I enlighten you in any way? Have you learned something today? Go ahead and comment below and let me know. And in the meantime, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, follow, all of that. And meet me at the next video. Let's go.